Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Dear audience and viewers, Assalamu alaikum. This is Muhammad Ilyas, your English trainer and instructor. As you know, we are going to start a series of English grammar. In this lecture, we will discuss the history and origin of English grammar. In this lecture, we will learn about two things. The one is the derivation or origin of grammar. The second thing is who are the key figures, mean who are the prominent writers who were for the grammar. First, we move towards the word grammar. The word grammar, it was derived from a Greek word grammatica, and grammatica, it's a Greek word. In this word, it comprises of two words. The one is gram and the second one is tika. Gram mean something written and tika mean art or technique of. So what does mean by grammatica? Grammatica mean the art of writing or technique of writing. Then the word grammatica, with the passage of time, it was changed from a Greek into Latin language, and Latin language, then it was called grammatica. Then over time, with the passage of time, from Latin language, it had been changed into French language. In French language, then it was called grammy. And then finally and eventually, then from French language into English language, then it was changed from French into English, and nowadays we call today's grammar, right? But remember one thing more. In the history of grammar, it has been written that the word grammar, it was emerged with the most important work of American linguist. His name is Noam Chomsky. He was the prominent linguist, right? When he proposed two theories, because of these two theories, it was emerged into English language, right? Which are these two theories? The one is theory of genitive grammar, and the second one is theory of universal grammar. Which are these two theories? Theory of genitive grammar, this theory tells us that when we follow a small or finite set of rules to produce infinite phrases or sentences, that's called theory of genitive grammar. In simple word, you can say, if we follow a finite set of rules and we can make many phrases, many sentences because of that finite set of rules, that's called genitive grammar. For example, if I talk about the prepositional phrases, for identifying the prepositional phrases and the sentences, there is only one rule which we should follow. And because of that only one rule, we can make and we can write a lot of phrases. For example, if I say the rule is for identifying a prepositional phrase, that is that a prepositional phrase, it will start with a preposition and it will end with a noun, right? For identifying the prepositional phrase, it will start with a preposition and it will end with a noun, so that will be called prepositional phrase. How? If I write a sentence, I am sitting on a chair. So here in this sentence, the word on, it's a preposition, and the word chair, it's a noun, right? So here the prepositional phrase, it starts with a preposition on and ends with a noun, and noun is a chair. So on a chair, it's a prepositional phrase. Okay, I write another sentence, okay, and then in that sentence I will underline the prepositional phrase, okay, but I will follow only one rule. The sentence is, I am sitting behind a tree. So here in this sentence, the word behind, it's a preposition, and the word tree, it's a noun. So we can say that the prepositional phrase, it starts with a preposition and ends with a noun. So behind a tree, it is also a prepositional phrase. So on a chair and behind a tree, these two are prepositional phrases, right? We wrote two phrases, but we followed only one rule, right? So the generative mean theory of generative grammar, it tells us about that, right? Now the second one is theory of universal grammar. What does this theory tell us? This theory tells us that for any language, there are some basic rules, some specific rules which are already existed in a person or in a human mind. That's called theory of universal grammar. For example, if I talk about Pashto language, right? There is no anybody who has gone to any institute, to any school for learning some basic rules for speaking Pashto. Nobody has gone, because already in a child mind, it is already existed some basic rules, right? And we know that which one word should be used for that, and which one word should be used for this and for that, right? So it's all about universal grammar. It tells about that, right? Now the second thing is that who are the key figures, mean who are the prominent writers who work in the background of grammar, right? Okay, the first one is Panini. Panini, he was a Sanskrit grammarian. Grammarian means a person who is expert, who specializes in the study of grammar, right? And he or she is called grammarian. So he was a Sanskrit grammarian, and his famous work is Ashtadhyayi. Remember one thing more, in the history of grammar, it has been written that this person Panini, he is considered and he is called the father of grammar, right? Because of his this famous work Ashtadhyayi. The second one is Marcus Terentius Varro. He was a Roman grammarian and scholar. His famous work is De Lingua Latina. De Lingua Latina, it is divided into 25 books, but out of 25, 6 are still survived and the remaining are damaged, right? The third one is Donatus. He was a Roman grammarian, and his famous work is Os Minor. Here or is silent, okay? Os Minor. The fourth one is William Jones. He was a British linguist, and his famous work is A Grammar of Persian Language. And the fifth one is Noam Chomsky. Already we talked about this person, okay? He was American linguist, and his famous work is Theory of Generative and Universal Grammar. So it was all about the history and origin of English grammar. And I hope that you like this lecture and you learn a lot of things from this lecture and from this video. But still, if you have any question, you can ask in the comment section. Thank you so much.